Hey, how's it going? This is Diaz. I'm talking to you from Alpha 25 on testing right now. Just going to show you one of my favorite shells, the Duskwing. I would say she's my second favorite after the Toaster, which got eliminated, but he'll be back someday. Anyway, I just want to show you the basics and some tips and advanced tricks. First off, this is how you would start off as far as gear. Main, second, special, mobility, body, empty. And HP on the top left should be 70 HP. It's just because I've got 2 HP boosts on her since I've played her a bit. On the left side in the status window, anything under armor until air jumps, you can increase in stats using specific gear or gears with mods on him, which I'll talk to you later about or in another video. Anyway, so main weapon would be the Skyne. As you see, it's a whip. So the way you would use it, there's two ways actually to use this. Just standing still, attack button, which I have set to D, which is the default. I'm just using the default keyboard layout. I usually play on my joystick. I'm just going to show you just to make it easier for you, I guess, if you don't have a controller. So standing still, attack, depending on which direction you're facing. You can even crouch, hold crouch and attack. Even goes downwards diagonally, so if you're holding down and a direction plus attack, she'll attack like that. Upwards also diagonally, so that's all her options, just standing still. The other way would be to jump, which is set to space on my end. So jump, attack, so that's the buzz. That's what we call it, by the way. You could call it jump spin or whatever. We call it buzz, so buzzing. That's her. That's pretty much her main move. You would be using on a Duskwing, to be honest, because you got full invulnerability on it while you're in that animation, while you're buzzing. Just keep in mind it doesn't last forever. It's like a second and a half or close to 2 seconds. I'm gonna show you right now. That's how long it lasts. So that's the buzz. I mean, you can also do small buzzes. You don't have to, you can just like lightly tap it. Just like that. You can spam it a bit. So it's first jump and then attack, by the way. So you can just spam it like this. You don't have to, you can go high up, which, cancels your animation there before you land. So watch out for that. But these short chained buzzes, pretty good against smaller enemies. Gotta watch out though as you're landing. Just keep in mind also, if you're attacking like a boss, a large boss, if you're going through it, you can get clipped at the end if you don't time it properly. I'll show you a trick also that can help you with that a little later, with speaking about one of the other weapons she has. But for now, that's it. So that's the Skyne. Next we have... Oh, actually, let me just let you know of the upgrades. So the direct upgrade to the Skyne would be the Nacre Skyne. So this one is the same, has the same moves, etc. Except the radius is much larger. So you can reach other further out enemies or whatever's high up there. As you can see, this guy likes the Nacre. He calls it Necre. Anyways, so yeah, the range is further, everything's the same, as you can see. Now, the last upgrade would be the Polychrome Skyne. This is what most Duskwings will look for as their main weapon, because triple attacks. See, I'm just hitting the attack button once, and there's 3 numbers coming out. Same thing with the buzz, as opposed to the normal one. Yeah, there you go. Ah, Jesus. So yeah, so this is pretty crazy because it does huge amounts of damage, plus you can get more chances at getting the crit, since you have crit chance there. 5% is the base. That's it for that. Next up we have the The Esk is a boomerang basically, so you just shoot it out, it comes back to you. You don't waste ammo if you catch it, but if you let it go, top left ammo where it shows 4 on 4, if you jump over it and let it go like that, it'll just disappear, so you'll lose 1 ammo, but you can catch it. I mean, you can just jump like this, catch it. Oh my god, I suck. There we go. So you would catch it that way, and you wouldn't lose the ammo. And yeah, so this has the same directions as the Skyne, upwards, downwards. You can't spam it. It's just one at a time. The upgrade to that is the biting Esk, and this one's basically, it's faster, straight up faster and larger, and you get mods on it. As you can see, I have max ammo and extra range on this one. Not all of them will, but since this is an advanced, that's a prefix, by the way, so all weapons have that, or not all, but it's more common that you see a prefix on a gear, on a piece of gear, than just stock. Alright, so as you can see, this has a prefix, as it's common to have an upgraded weapon with a prefix. That just means that there's extra damage on this one. You can see it by the green numbers. Everything that's green means that it's a better version of its original, if that makes sense. Like let's say if I had a regular biting Esk without the prefix, like I have advanced, then you would all see white numbers there. Without max ammo and range even. So that's that. And then we have the last upgrade on the Esk, which is the gnawing Esk. And this is different than the other ones because it latches onto an enemy and does crazy damage, so you'd want that. One thing about this one is you can retrieve it by just going up to the enemy like this and just touching the Esk to get it back. That's really risky though on a moving enemy, so I mean, it's up to you. Depending on your skill level, you could practice this and be godlike, better than all of us right now. But anyway, so that's the gnawing Esk, and then we have the warp. The warp has 2 uses, just like the Skyne. First use would be double tapping left, right, like that. The longer you hold it, the further you go. It has a max distance, of course, so you can spam it like this, little by little. Crazy, right? And yeah, so that's the first use. The second use to this would be the dive kick. So this is by jumping, holding down in a direction, and then attack. So yes, it might be tricking in the beginning, but with a little bit of practice, you could just do it on a dummy in the lobby like this. So you just like jump down. So jump down, direction, attack. Jump down, direction, attack. Anyways, so that's that. Now the upgrades to that, the first one would be the Acrotic Warp. And it's got the same thing as the default one. Just go straight, the longer you hold it, blah blah blah. The one I have here, augmented, it has time on it. What that means is that you got extra length, so it lasts a little longer. If I can show you here, if I'm starting from the pole, the lamp pole, it goes just a little over the middle of the fountain here. If I take the default one, see, it doesn't even reach the middle. So that's the difference. And then we have the last upgrade to the warp, which is the abiding warp. This one is awesome because you leave a trail. You're basically like the girls from Frozen or whatever. So whatever touches the the snowflakes or whatever you want to call them that you see the trail that's extra damage basically on top of the initial warp that you do. And you even get it on dive kicks. The further you dive kick, the longer the trail, of course, like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the extra thing on it. Each little snowflake has a chance of doing crit like that. So but there's a possibility that all of them do crits, but that's rare now. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just want to give you a trick with the warp. Is if you don't have any boots, or if you have just regular red boots, then you can cancel your dive kick by hitting jump. You see, like that, instead of floating up like this. Just before, it's really tough to do on a keyboard. I'm not used to it. Okay, so I just want to clarify the dive kick cancel that I was talking about. So, as I said, with the keyboard, you would press. I'm just gonna show it clearly without doing it on the screen. But down. Okay, jump first. Jump down, left, or right, depending on where you wanna. We're gonna do left. Okay, so jump down, left, and then attack. That's how you would do the regular dive kick, like this. You know, it takes a bit of practice, getting used to it. Now I was talking about the cancel. So instead of floating up like this, high up, you can stop the float, basically, if that makes sense, by hitting jump as you're hitting the enemy. Just like that. See? Just like that. I'm gonna do this on my keyboard. So if you don't have any mobility item, like in top right, like I have, or even if you have these red shoes, these equipoise boots, you can do the dive kick cancel. All right, let me just. You see, you could just chain them even. It's way faster. So that's how you do it. It's easier for me to do it on the arcade stick because I'm used to it. You could do this on the keyboard, no problem. I mean, it'll take practice. I can't do it consistently as I can do it on my keyboard. See, the buzz comes out. I did it there, but it's tough. I don't know if it's maybe the keyboard or it's ass. Okay, so I recommend getting like a controller of some sort to play this game because it's much better. Not necessarily an arcade stick like I have. It's actually even better if you have like a PlayStation like controller with a D-pad, to be honest, because you have more options on it. You have a D-pad and an analog stick. I only have this joystick thing here. But anyways, so that's the dive kick cancel. Before I was mentioning about the buzz and how you should watch out when you're buzzing through a boss, a large enemy, and if you don't time it well, you would get clipped. So there's one thing you can do. This is maybe advanced, sort of, is when you buzz, you can actually cancel and do a warp, just like that, in any direction. So that's one thing. You know, you're invulnerable in the buzz and you're invulnerable in the warp states. So you know, you have double invulnerability. So that's a good thing to do if you're in a pinch, just to get out of trouble. There's actually more to that. So you can buzz, dive, kick at the end. buzz, warp, and then dive kick. You know, if you're landing on an enemy, so let's say you're trying to get out of trouble, and at the end of the warp you notice like an enemy on the ground, so you could just dive kick it. Okay, this lamppost is annoying. See, you can chain those moves, so that's pretty cool. One last thing I want to mention here is gear. So I've mentioned the main, second, special weapons. So these are weapons. So they're all used for attacking purposes. I wanna show you mobility. So I mean, I don't have any red boots on me, unfortunately, but just like you see right now, this one in the shop, basically boots or reds as they call them. They give you movement speed. That's what I mean. That's the base. That's the bare minimum you'll get from reds. But you don't see it here. But you get more mods on some other better red boots, like armor. You can get armor on boots. Extra crit, I think, crit chance. Anyways, you get other stuff. It's just RNG, depending on how lucky you are. And the other boots you can have, which are amazing and very rare. Oh, these ones I have right now are freaking crazy. Look at all those mods, and it's just an advanced. So I call them blues. They're called Imperials or Imperial. I just like to call them blues. So my blues are sick. What I mean, the main thing about blues, as you see in white, because as I said, white means that it's standard. So these come standard with air jumps. As you see on the left side, the last thing in the status bar, in the status window, you'll see air jumps, and it gives me a 1 as I equip these. Let me just de-equip it. I dropped it, but anyways, so 0. You see that? What air jumps do is you get double jump. You get a double jump basically. See, you jump twice in the air. That's awesome. So I mean, you can even get an implant that's more, advanced in the game, to be honest. You probably know this by now or not, but an implant will be added to you get an implant slot from a boss, and that's an extra slot you get added in the top right corner of your equipment bar, like next to body, you'll see it. So you can get different types of implant slots that'll boost any of the the statuses that you get. So like you can get an extra jump implant. So with the blue boots, you can get like triple jumping. That's crazy. No one got that yet as of Alpha 25. So that's that. So that's the mobility slot. Body, I've got a jerkin. So this is a mid-tier armor as of now. There's also another armor that's more common than this. It's called the Hearst. It's a little weaker, not necessarily though, because the Hearst usually comes with armor and movement speed, whereas the Jerkin, the main thing is armor, is higher armor than usual. I don't know what the max. I think yeah, the max is 7 on a Jerkin for armor. The max on a Hearst would be 6, I think. 6, and then 7 movement speed or 6 movement speed. Plus the mods, of course. As you see here, I have damage and movement speed as extra mods on my Jerkin. Then there's something called the Yhurst or Wayhurst. I don't know how you'd pronounce it. Anyways, I'm gonna show a pic on the screen right now of it. It's like a cool kick-ass leather jacket of some sort, and yeah, that does more. That gets you more armor and mods, of course, if you're lucky. And there's movement speed, right? Yeah, I think there's movement speed on that as the Hearst. So it's like a Hearst, but it's like way better. I mean, the cap is bigger, basically. So those are the 3 main armor types that you can get for the Duskwing: the Hearst, Jerkin, and the Yhurst. I mean, that's pretty much it. Those are the basics and some advanced tricks for the Duskwing. She is one of my favorite classes or shells to play with, because I mean, she's really fast. I'm pretty sure like most of you will play her aggressively, because that's kind of her playstyle. Of course, you can play it however you want to play this shell, but what I noticed, most Duskwings end up being at the front of the group, and just going ham, basically. But one of her weaknesses is that she has low HP. She starts off with 70, and she has low armor. So that's two things you need to watch out for. Even though she has all these crazy moves and invulnerabilities, she's pretty fragile. So those are the cons. Pros, of course, she's fast. You can link moves into other moves. She's got really good equipment, crits and all that. Well, crits. Everyone has crits now as of Alpha 25. Yeah, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Duskwing. If there's anything else, I'll add to it or let you know or ask me. I don't know, whatever. Just let's leave it at that. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.